UFOs have often been dismissed as an explainable natural phenomenon, an American pop culture that has evoked images of little green men flying spaceships. But there have been well-documented encounters made by credible witnesses, such as the Roswell case of 1947. Britain also has had its fair share of sightings, and one stands above all others and is known as Britain's Roswell. This is the case of the Rendlesham Forest incident. Rendlesham Forest is located in the county of Suffolk, about 8 miles east of the town of Ipswich, and consists of about 6 square miles of coniferous plantations interspersed with broadleaf belts, heathland and wetland areas. In 1980, the American Air Force had 2 military bases in the area, RAF Brentwater, which was just north of the forest, and RAF Woodbridge, which extends into the forest from the west and is bounded by the forest on its northern and eastern edges. Both were under command of Wing Commander Colonel Gordon E. Williams. The base commander of RAF Woodbridge was Colonel Ted Conrad, and his deputy was Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt. The main events of the incident, including the supposed landing, took place in the forest, which starts at the east end of the base runway, or about 0.3 miles to the east of the east gate of RAF Woodbridge, from where security guards first noticed mysterious lights appearing to descend into the forest. The forest extends east above 1 mile beyond the east gate, ending at a farmer's field at Capel Green, where additional events allegedly took place. At around 3 AM on the 26th of December 1980, a security patrol near the east gate of RAF Woodbridge saw lights apparently descending into the nearby Rendlesham Forest. Servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft. According to Holt's memo, upon entering the forest to investigate, they witnessed a glowing object that was metallic in appearance with coloured lights. As they attempted to approach that object, it appeared to move through the trees, and the animals on the nearby farm went into a frenzy. One of the servicemen, Sergeant Jim Peniston, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin while in the forest, although there is no publicised mention of this at the time, and there is no corroboration from other witnesses. Shortly after 4 AM, local police were called to the scene, but reported that the only lights they could see were those from the Orfordness Lighthouse, some miles away on the coast. After daybreak on the morning of the 26th of December, servicemen returned to a small clearing near the eastern edge of the forest and found 3 small impressions on the ground in a triangular pattern, as well as burn marks and broken branches on nearby trees. At 10:30 the local police were called out again, this time to see the impressions, which they thought could have been made by an animal. The Deputy Base Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt, visited the site with several servicemen in the early hours of the 28th of December 1980. They took radiation readings in the triangle of depressions and discovered small levels of radiation. Furthermore, they detected a similar small burst over half a mile away from the landing site. Holt recorded the events in his micro-cassette recorder.
150 feet or more from the initial, I should say, suspected impact point. Having a little difficulty, can't get the light all to work. Seems to be some kind of mechanical problem. Let's send back, get another light on. Meantime, we're going to take some readings with the gather cutter and chase around here a little bit, wait for another light on to come back in. You know, the security controls. Yes, that's 1 5 to 5 number. Okay. Minor clicks. What are the impressions? One. Is that all the bigger they are? Well, there's one more well defined. Security control. We're still getting clicks.
It was during this investigation that a flashing red light was seen across the field to the east, almost in line with the farmhouse, as the witness had seen on the first night. The Orfordness Lighthouse is visible further to the east in the same line of sight. Later, according to Holt's memo, 3 starlight lights were seen in the sky, 2 to the north and 1 to the south, about 10 degrees above the horizon. Holt said that the brightest of these hovered for 2 or 3 hours and seemed to beam down a stream of light from time to time. Astronomers have explained these starlight lights as bright stars. The first piece of primary evidence to be made available to the public was a document written by the Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt to the Ministry of Defence, known as the Holt Memo. This was made publicly available in the United States under the US Freedom of Information Act in 1983. The document was dated the 13th of January 1981 under the title Unexplained Lights. The 2-week delay between the incident and the report might account for errors in the dates and times given. One proposed theory is that the incident was a hoax. The BBC reported that a former US security policeman, Kevin Condy, claimed responsibility for creating strange lights in the forest by driving around in a police vehicle whose lights had been modified. However, there is no evidence that this prank took place on the nights in question. Other explanations for the incident have included a downed Soviet spy satellite, but no evidence has been produced to support this. But the most widely accepted explanation is that the sightings were due to a combination of 3 main factors. The initial sighting at 3 AM on the 26th of December, when the airmen saw something apparently descending into the forest, coincided with the appearance of a bright fireball over southern England, and such fireballs were a common source of UFO reports. The supposed landing marks were identified by police and foresters as rabbit diggings. No evidence has emerged to confirm that anything actually came down in the forest. According to witness statements from the 26th of December, the flashing light seen from the forest lay in the same direction as the Orfordness Lighthouse. When the eyewitnesses attempted to approach the light, they realised it was further off than they thought. One of the witnesses described it as a beacon of light off in the distance, while another said it was a lighthouse. Timings on Holt's tape recording during his sighting seemed to indicate that the light he saw, which lay in the same direction as the light seen 2 nights earlier, flashed every 5 seconds, which was the flash rate of the Orfordness Lighthouse.
The far side of the second farmer's field, and made sighting again about 110 degrees. This looks like it's clear out to the coast. It's right on the horizon. Moves about a bit and flashes from time to time. Still steady or red in color. Also, after negative readings in the solar field, we're picking up slight readings, 4 or 5 clicks now on the meter. 305. We see strange strobe-like flashes to the rather sporadic, but there's definitely something, some kind of phenomenon. 305 at about 10 degrees horizon directly north. We've got 2 strange objects, half moon shape, dancing about with colored lights on them. About guessed to be about 5 to 10 miles out, maybe less. The half moons have now turned into full circles. As though there was an eclipse or something there for a minute or 2. 0315 now, we've got an object about 10 degrees directly south, 10 degrees off the horizon. And the ones to the north are moving, one's moving away from us. Moving out fast.
This one on the right heading away too.
Yeah, we're both heading north. So here he comes from the south. He's coming toward us now. Now we're observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground. This is unreal. 3:30, or 03:30, and the objects are still in the sky, although the one to the south looks like it's losing a little bit of altitude. We're turning around and heading back toward the base. The object to the south is still beaming down lights to the ground. 400 hours, one object still hovering over Woodbridge base at about 5 to 10 degrees off the horizon, still moving erratic and similar lights and beaming down this area.
The star-like objects that Holt reported hovering low to the north and south are thought by some skeptics to have been misinterpretations of bright stars distorted by atmospheric and optical effects, another common source of UFO reports. The brightest of them, to the south, matched the position of Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. In June 2010, Holt summarised the alleged events at Rendlesham Forest, and he concluded, "I believe the objects that I saw at close quarter were extraterrestrial in origin, and that the security services of both the United States and the United Kingdom have attempted, both of them and now, to subvert the significance of what occurred at Rendlesham Forest and RAF Brentwaters by the use of well-practiced methods of disinformation." The truth as to what happened at Rendlesham will be debated for years to come, but ultimately it comes down to one question: do you believe?